Namaste. On the request of some of the viewers, uh, that is a quick recap of the Panchangam need to be done, since we have been referring to Panchangam role in crop prediction and Panchangam role in weather forecasting, and many references to Panchangam have been given in the previous lessons. So a quick recap has been asked by some of the viewers. In this lesson, we will quickly see the elements of the Panchanga, a recollection of the stars, rashis, planets, etc., Hindu months and years, Hindu samvatsaras, the Rashtriya Panchang, and the adoption of Rashtriya Panchang by Indian government. As you know, the almanac or Panchangam is a traditional calendar. It has the main purpose of giving dates based on the lunar or the lunisolar calendar. Certain astronomical information is given, and the dates of religious observances like the festivals is given, and some data on farming and navigation and other general interests are provided in the Panchangam. Historically, people used to use it as their calendar and also various practical data for their day-to-day life. Like nowadays, we are hanging some calendar or keeping a table calendar on our desk in the offices. The traditional lifestyle needed a Panchangam. The Panchangam has got a wealth of information which has been forgotten by the modern commercial calendars. And the aggressive modernism has dismissed the use of Panchangam in most of the households now. And it has been now been reduced to only some religious purposes. We are seeing one or two shots of cover pages of certain Panchangs. In India, there are many Panchangams in use by the various regions and also the various language speaking people. So there is a Hrishikesh Panchang, this is a very famous Panchang. There is another Panchangam called Kashi Vishwanath Panchangam, which is also based on the Hrishikesh Panchangam. These are basically having Sanskrit names and Sanskrit usages. This is a Hindi Panchang here. This is published from Jodhpur. This is a very popular Tamil Panchangam called the Palm Panchangam. We have referred this in one of our lessons in the last, where we have shown the Rahu Padi Chakram and the Langala Chakram. This is another very popular Tamil Panchangam called the Srirangam Kovil Panchangam, which is primarily used for religious purposes. So now we will just quickly recap the Graha Nakshatras Rashis. There are Grahas 9 in number, 7 luminous and 2 shadowy. We call Grahas as the ones which exert mutual forces. In Sanskrit, the word Graha itself means that which pulls each other or which holds each other. The English books mostly translate Grahas as planets, but Sun and Moon are not considered as planets in modern science. But Sun and Moon are considered as planets in astrology. Similarly, Rahu, Ketu are shadowy planets, or they are actually intersection points of the lunar and solar orbits. So it is used primarily for calculating eclipses. They cannot be called as planets in modern science. In the Western astrology, they are called the nodes. We know that the Earth moves around the Sun in 365.25 days. So geocentrically, the Sun is considered to move around the earth as we look at from the earth. The scientific system is called the heliocentric system, where the sun is in the center, whereas the astrological principles use earth because the observer is in the earth. So earth as the center, so it's called the geocentric system. The earth rotates on its own axis, which causes day and nights. So we see the sun being rising from the east and setting in the west. Moon will complete a revolution around the earth in 27.33 days approximately. Buddha, Shukra, Bhauma is Mars, Guru is Jupiter, Shani is Saturn, and the orbital periods of each of these grahas are being given here. As viewed from the earth, the sun and the moon also travels around a path known as ecliptic. This is at 23.4 degrees to the equator. All planets are traveling within a spread of around 8 to 10 degrees north and south of this ecliptic. So you can consider the path of these planets as a huge elliptical band. This band is called the zodiac, or the Rashi Mandala. And the nakshatras are placed, the nakshatras which we use for our astrological purpose are placed along this band. The 360 degrees of the zodiac is divided into 12 parts, 30 degrees. Each part is called a Rashi or a sign. 1 degree is called a Bhaga or an Amsha. Each Bhaga is divided into 60 kalas or minutes, and each kala is divided into 60 vikras. And each vikra is 60 tarparas. Planets for any given time can then be accurately placed in a Rashi chart using the Rashi in which it is located, the Amsha in which it is located, the Kala and Vikala in which it is located. What are the Panchanga elements? The Panchanga elements are Pancha Angas or 5 parts: Vara, Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, and Karana. So any point in time can be precisely defined by using the Vara, Tithi, Nakshatra, and Karana. Therefore, in the religious purposes, when we do the Sankalpam, we always say the place and then the Kala. The Kala which will give you Vara, Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, and Karma, which gives the precise time at which a religious observance is being carried out. So, Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yoga, and Karma. We'll see what are all these. Varam. Varam is the day of the week. One day has 24 horas or 24 hours. And they are ruled by planets starting from the sun. The inner planets in ascending distance and outer planet in descending distance. So the order of horas becomes Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. The first hora at sunrise is the name of the day. So benefic horas are being chosen for auspicious occasions. Western scholars say that the hora was been borrowed, the term hora was borrowed from the Greeks, which is called hour. But Indian scholars believe that hora is part of the night and day, so it is called ahoratra. So the middle part has been taken as hora, as part of the day. The sun and the moon travel at different speed with reference to Earth. The sun is completing its revolution around 365 days, which means approximately 1 degree per day it advances. And similarly, the moon travels in around 27.5 days. So the moon travels between 12 and 14 degrees in the sky per day. Since the moon is traveling much faster than the sun and moon meets each other once in 30 days. When the sun and moon are meeting each other, the moon cannot be seen because of the sun's brightness is not allowing us to see it. And then when the sun and the moon are against the opposite to each other, 180 degrees apart, then the moon is fully visible with a very bright disk. So these two days are called Amavasya and Purnamasya. When the sun and the moon union is just completed, it is called Amavasya Tithi in our Panchangam. And in 15 days, it will go directly opposite to the sun. So in 180 degrees, it will travel in 15 days. So every 12 degrees, one Tithi will be advanced. So these Tithis are called Prathama, Ditiya, Tritiya. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. First, second, third, fourth in Sanskrit. Prathama is first, Ditiya is second, Tritiya is third, Chaturthi is fourth, etc. So the moon as it becomes more and more visible when it travels away from the sun is called the bright fortnight or Suklavaksha. And when after the Purnamasya, after the full moon day, when it keeps reducing in its size and ultimately vanishes, this is called the black or dark fortnight or the Krishnapaksha. And these 30 days are called Suklavaksha Tithis and Krishnapaksha Tithis. So the Panchangam will be marked with Prathama, Ditiya, Tritiya in Krishnapaksha and Suklavaksha. Tithis are grouped into three and they are called Nanda, Jaya, Bhadra, Rikita and Purna. Now we talk about nakshatras or star mansions. For the purpose of astrology and Panchangam, we consider 27 star groups, which are consisting of totally 200 stars. The 200 stars divided into 27 mansions are called asterisms or mansions or constellations. And these asterisms are located in the various constellations as we know astronomically. The star groups are like this. There are three stars in Ashwini, 3 stars in Bharani, 6 stars in Kritika, 5 stars in Rohini. Ardra has only single star, Swati has only single star, Chitra has only single star. This is called Spika in modern astronomy. And if you keep on saying, the Sadabhishek has got 100 stars. So put together, they are approximately 200 stars. The 27 groups of stars are located within 12 rashis. Therefore, each rashi contains 2.25 star mansions. And if you divide the 30 degrees of arc of a rashi, each nakshatra becomes 13 degree 20 minutes of arc. And 1/4 of this arc is called a nakshatra pada, and it is 3 degree 20 minutes of arc in distance. This 3 degree 20 minutes is 1/9 of a rashi 30 degrees. Therefore, it's called a Navamsha. Nava means 9, Amsha means part, Navamsha means 9 parts, one of the 9 parts. So 13 degree 20 minutes long, 27 stars are there in the nakshatra. The moon traverses each star in approximately 1 day. So the moon will travel somewhere between 12.5 degrees to 14 degrees in a day, depending on its elliptical orbit is there. Therefore, sometimes it is slower and faster with reference to Earth. So the 60 gadis will cover one star. So the moon, where is it located, is seen on the sunrise of the day, and that is called the Nakshatra of the day in the Panchangam. So we saw that the moon will travel around 13 degrees on an average in one day, and the sun will travel approximately 1 degree per day. If you take the sum of travel of the sun and the moon, and the sun and the moon together traveling a distance of one nakshatra pramana or 13 degrees 20 minutes is called one yoga. So just similar to the nakshatra, there are 27 yogas also. The names of the yogas are called Vishkamba Priti Ayushman, Saubhagya, Adhiganda, Sukarma, Druti, Shula, Ganda, Vritti, etc. up to Vaidhriti. The Vaidhriti and Vidibhada yogas are considered to be Shraddha days. The other days, other yogas have their names approximately matching the characteristic of the yoga. Like for example, Sukarma or Shubhra or Sadhya, these are all auspicious yogas. Adhiganda or Ganda or Shula, these are all somewhat inauspicious yogas. Next element of the Panchangam is Karanam. The Karanam is half duration of the Tithi. There are 4 fixed Karanams and there are 7 movable Karanams. The second half of Chaturdashi to the first half of Pratibhada, there are 4 Karanams which are always fixed. The other 7 Karanams will repeat over and over again to make these Karanams, which is mentioned in the Panchangam. The names of the Sthira Karanams are Shaguni Chatuspad Nagavakim Stugna, and the Chara Karanas are Bhava Balava, Kaulva, Taitula, Karajavanija, Vadra. You see the page of this Panchangam. This is page of a Rishikesh Panchangam. You can see here the star is, the nakshatra is mentioned here, Rogini, Vrishesha, etc. The yogas are mentioned here, Dhriti, Shula, Ganda, etc. Bhava, Balava, Taitula, etc. The yogas are mentioned here. The Varas we know Mangal, Budu, Shukra, Shani, etc. So the Vara, Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana is. The Tithis are marked here. Ditya, Tritiya, etc. So you see the complete 5 elements are provided against each date. So for our convenience nowadays, the Panchanga also give the English dates on one side so that you know with reference to your business calendar what is the Indian Tithis and Nakshatras. And here there is written as Jyeshta Shukla Vaksha. Here Sri Samvat Shaka year, and the Ritu is also given here. This is another page, page of another Panchangam. See here also you can see the Tithis are marked here. The Revati, Ashwini, Bharani, these nakshatras are marked here. Brahma, Indra, Vaidhriti, yogas are marked here. Bhava, Kaulva, Garija, etc. The Karanas are marked here. And here also it gives Chaitra Shukla Vaksha and so on. Now this is Tamil Panchangam. Here the month of in English month is given. The Tamil date, the solar calendar date of the Rashi is given. The Vara is given here, Garden Valli Shani, etc. Then the Tithis are marked here with a Nadiga duration, with a Gadi duration from sunrise. The Tithis are Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, and Karana are marked here. And the planetary position on the sunrise of the day 1 of the month is also given here. Okay, now we quickly look at the names of months, years, and other features of the Hindu calendar. The names of the months are Chaitra, Vaishakha, Jyeshta, Ashada, Shravana, etc. onwards up to Falguna. The name of the month has been derived from the date of the full moon of that month and the nakshatra in which the full moon appears. So that means Chitra Nakshatra, the full moon appearing in a month is called Chaitra Masa. In Vishakha Nakshatra, when the full moon appears, called Vaishakha Masa, and so on. The first of Chaitra is considered to be the new year in Shaka era, as well as the Vikram era, and the Telugu calendar or the Marathi calendar. And the Tamil calendar has got a lunisolar base, so that they consider the first of Aries as the when sun enters Aries, they consider the uh, beginning of the year. It is in the Chaitra Masa itself. In some parts of the country, like Gujarat, there is Kartika as the beginning of the month, and in Kerala alone, Shravana is considered to be the beginning of the month, and they call it the solar Shravana month or the Chingamasa, Simhamasa. The years in Hindu calendar are repeating every 60 years. So there is a 60-year cycle. Like everything else, the years are also in a cycle. So every 60 years, the cycle will repeat. The rise of Jupiter in the Dhanishta star is considered to be the beginning of the year cycle in the Brihaspati Chakra. In other thing like what I said, the Chaitra Masa, the first of Aries is considered to be the beginning of the year. We will see the names of these years are given here. It starts from Prabhava. So Prabhava, Vibhava, Shukla, Pramoda, etc. There is a 10-year cycle up to Ishvara. Then Bahudanya to Vikriti is another 12 years. Then it goes up to Khara, up to Subhakrit. Then Sobhakrit, Krodhi, Vishwavasu. Vishwavasu is the current year. Parabhava, Plavanga, Kilaka, Saumya, etc. Rakshasangala. And it ends with the Akshaya. These are the 60-year cycle in Hindu calendar. So the Panchanga will show the year as Vishwavasu year or Kalakti year, etc. And it will show the month Chaitra, Vaishakha, etc. From there, then Vara, Tithi, Nakshatra, etc. is given. So there is when you say, I am born the Prabhava year in the Chaitra month, in the Shukla Vaksha, Tritiya, with some Nakshatra called Anuradha, or in in any Karana and Yoga, you know the precise time in which you were born. There are different eras being used in our calendar. The beginning of Kali is reckoned to be the zero position of the planets. Therefore, Kali era, 5126 years have passed in the Kali era now. Shalivahana era started in the 3179 year of Kali, where the king Shalivahana redefined the calculation parameters for the planets. It is coinciding with the 78th Common Era or Christian Era. The English or Common Era started in 3101 of Kali. Kollam year started in the 3926 of Kali. Kollam is the um, calendar prevalent in Kerala state. Vikramabda started in the Kali 3045. These are the essentials for Panchangam. You can see that the Hindu calendar has no arbitrary days. There are no assumed start dates also. It is founded on the natural principle of stellar and planetary movements. Day to day, everything is calculated on the base of planetary movements only. It connects the essential life activity of breathing in the universe. There are many more information on weather forecast and growth inputs, which we'll see further in our course. Since there are many Panchangams in many languages used around the country, the government of India, after independence from the British, decided to have a unified calendar and they formed a calendar reforms committee. And the calendar reforms committee suggested a publication of a Rashtriya Panchang or a national calendar. It is being published by the Postal Astronomy Center of Calcutta every year. It is published with a intention to unify different Indian Panchangas. This Panchanga actually took the equinox as reckoned by today's practices as March 22nd to coincide with the beginning of the year, not the sidereal equinox which the Indian traditional Panchanga makers use. This is the one page, the cover page of the Panchanga, Rashtriya Panchanga, and here you can see the various dates, etc. Month, year, Tithi, all these are given here, just like any other Panchanga. Vara, Tithi, Nakshatra is given. The calendar committee reforms, the calendar committee for reforms of the calendar has been formed by late Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and using the various Indian and European astronomy and calendar making concepts, Mr. N.C. Lahiri was appointed as one of the key persons of this, who is a mathematician. And they decided a few things. Like the committee recommended the use of 365.24 days in place of 365.25 days, which is used by Indian Panchanga makers. Because Indian Panchanga makers always try to make the first day of Aries, the sun's entry there, to the next sun's entry there, which is 365 days, 15 gadis, etc. So it is 225. The committee felt that they should start at midnight, whereas all the Indian Panchanga makers use the sunrise at the place where the Panchanga is to be used as the beginning of the day. This is a major difference. But in Surya Siddhanta, in our ancient Siddhanta, the beginning of the day for calculating the position of the grahas are used as the midnight at Lanka. This is a altogether different principle. But in our business calendars, as on today, we calculate the midnight as the day start. Mm. However, Indian Panchangas never used this. However, the calendar committee decided to use the Western system of midnight start of the day. And the length of the year should be tropical Sayana days. The astronomical studies in India were discontinued because the observatories in India were destroyed by the Turk invaders and the later alien rule in our country destroyed the science of astronomy, astrology, and mathematics of the Hindus has been observed by this committee. However, they did not think of reviving it and reinstalling it, but better to follow the Western system is what they recommended. And the reason why they gave it to this is that the Siddhantas were adhered upon by our Indian scholars. They did not use the European astronomical methods. The Siddhantic principles make 29 to 32 days of the in a month by calculating the exact solar movement and the entry of sun into one Rashi, whereas the duration of the month was taken as 30 to 31 days in the Rashtriya calendar. The calendar recommended that a leap year should be there once in 4 years, just like a British calendar or an English calendar. Whereas in our Indian calendar, there is no leap year. So these are the basic points of the calendar reforms committee. So using Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana as the founding basis of a Panchangam, but following all the Western system is the Rashtriya Panchang. Therefore, the recommended calendar will have almost permanent correspondence with the Gregorian dates. Like for example, in our calendar system, the first day of the Chaitra will always fall somewhere in March or April. In this case, always first day of Chaitra was born in March 22nd. In this case, in this way, the correspondence between the dates of the beginning of the year, month in India and the beginning of the month in the English calendar can be retained. Uh, However, the calendar recognizes the Ahargana from Kali Yuga beginning. So here in this appendix lesson, we have seen the essentials of Panchangam and recapped various concepts of Hindu calendar. To continue with the course in the main course of the weather prediction and other lessons which I have uploaded. Thank you for watching and please like and subscribe my channel if you like this presentation.